Hi, friends. Welcome to Mountain Woman Radio. This is episode number 233 of the podcast, and today we are going to get caught back up. It has been a while. Had great intentions in August. I was producing a book, was ready to release it to you all, and then I got COVID, and I was flat on my back for more than half the month and have been recovering since. Lots going on, though. So I look forward to catching up with you. For those of you that are new to my show, my name is Tammy Trayer. I am your host, and my family and I live 100% off-grid in the North Idaho wilds. We've been here and doing this for 12 years. Absolutely love our lifestyle, love sharing our faith-led, off-grid, homesteading, wilderness survival life with the world. You can find us by going to TrayerWilderness.com, and you can also find our classes at TrayerWildernessAcademy.com. You can also find the books I have written at TrayerWilderness.com/Tammy Trayer, which today we're going to talk about one of those. I have the privilege to share my latest book with you guys today, and I look really forward to this. Before we dive in, today's show is sponsored in part by Farmhouse Teas. I love testing out all my teas. I am a tea connoisseur. I am a coffee connoisseur. And one of the beautiful things with Farmhouse Teas is that you can experiment and be creative, try out all their new brands, all their new flavors, and they also have coffee replacement, which is what I am drinking today. It is chocolate conniption, not coffee tea. Their names are amazing. That's one of the fun things about shopping at Farmhouse Tea is that you get to go through their list of names. This one is Apple Cider Fixin' Tea. We've got Farm Maidens Medley Tea. We've also got the Yodelay Tea Hoo, which the Mountain Man will be enjoying, and he will also be enjoying the Cattywampus Canceller Tea. I love the names, but it's just amazing to receive a package of goodness from Farmhouse Teas because it's as if somebody personally sent you a gift. It arrives to you in such a beautiful way. The presentation is just amazing. A lot of thought goes into this business. It is a family-run business out of Oregon, and Cian over at Farmhouse Teas will definitely take care of you. Their teas are just amazing, but they went into great thought in their packaging, and like I said, their presentation is just amazing. So you feel very gifted when you receive their packages. So you can find them by going to TrayerWilderness.com/farmhouse teas. I highly recommend them. Not only do they have teas and coffee replacements, they also have all kinds of fermenting kombucha starters. They also have different kits to enable you to make your elderberry syrup and your fire cider and so forth. So if you are new into herbalism, and even into teas, you can find the things you need to get started at Farmhouse Teas and get started on the right foot. They're amazing though, and I highly recommend them and want to encourage you to check them out. Again, it is TrayerWilderness.com/farmhouse teas. I want you to also know that throughout the remainder of this year, which I can't believe we're in December, it's just so crazy to me. This year has just flown by. This year has been odd in a lot of ways, but so blessed through it as well. And I hope you guys have been as well. Part of that is keeping ourselves in the right place. But as we progress through the rest of the year here, I wanted to really hit home on a bunch of things and really speak out. So please join me next week as well as we talk about being that scientist or that investigator that you've always wanted to be or that you have hidden inside. And we'll talk more on that next week. But join me. So you hear me talking all the time about gratitude and thankfulness and being prayerful and deepening your faith. And you know, guys, those are truly the first tool in our toolbox to living a joyful life. And that's why I talk about it so much, because I really want to share with you all what I've found in my life that has made it so amazingly wholesome. My life is good because I make it that way. And that's the important part. And I think that that's something that has to be learned, because so often in this society and in life, we are taught to follow the mold. We are taught to be like the Joneses and to just be as everyone else has. And you know that we beat to a different drum here. We went off grid almost 12 years ago. That's hard to imagine too. And at the time, off-grid living was not something that was well known. It wasn't something that everybody's wanting to do, and we were being bet against. It was the best thing we've ever done for ourselves, and it has enlightened our lives and our journey to continue to just step out and live our lives by our terms. So I want to encourage you guys to make life what you want it to be. And that starts with putting God first, because the key thing with that statement is that we let God lead the way in our life. When things come our way, we are prayerful and take it to Him before we make decisions, so that we are walking in His will and not our own. Why? Because when you are walking out of God's will and walking life fully by your terms without considering Him, you typically are walking into walls, and things aren't near as pleasant as they could be, okay? So we always take things to God. We let God lead our family, and He leads the way in our lives. And we try to our best to walk the walk and talk the talk and be an example. And, you know, that's really important to us. And because of that, we've put really healthy, amazing habits in our life that have really served us well. And that is starting our day with God, reading His Word, being prayerful, doing a devotion. And sometimes we do it together, sometimes we do it by ourselves, but it is a morning ritual. And it's important to have those morning rituals. Most people will say they can't give up 15 minutes of time in their day because they're too busy, and it'll keep them from getting the important things done. However, spending time with Jesus is the most important thing in your day. And if it's lacking, your day will be lacking. I promise you. So, dun, da, 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 the Relentlessly Faithful Gratitude and Prayer Journal. This is a divine implant from God, from the beginning of this book, from the front cover to the back. And I am just so grateful because of spending that deep time with God every morning. He gives me such amazing ideas. And this is the subtitle is Building a Relationship and Strengthening Your Faith Muscles While Finding Jesus in Those Quiet and Reflective Moments. This dandelion on the cover is something that really stood out to me. And those dandelion tufts floating away in the wind, turning into crosses as they blow away. And that inspired this quote on the back of the book. Just as the dandelion seeds, may your faith grow and expand, traveling far and wide. As your walk deepens, may you be salt and light to the world around you. Keep your eyes on Jesus and plant your seeds. Guys, that could not be more important sentiments in the situation in our world right now. We need community, we need fellowship, and we need to be a light to others, because there's so many people in the dark and struggling right now. And we need to be that light. We need to plant seeds where we go. We need to walk upright so that when people see us and see the joy that we are spreading, that they want some of it. And that's going to be an important aspect of our growth in our future. So this is not your standard gratitude and prayer journal. It is not blank. I put a lot of thought into this. And like I said, Papa instilled a lot of things from the front cover to the back. So in the Relentlessly Faithful Gratitude and Prayer Journal, you will find Bible verse section first because I feel that that is really important. And I had selfish intentions in a lot of ways in designing this journal because I've never found one that actually had everything in it that I needed. I love writing down the Bible verses that resonate with me because every year God gives me these amazing verses that really represent the year so well and my life during that chapter in my life. And that's what you're doing in this journal is you are writing a chapter. You're writing the year of your life. So I put my Bible verses in the beginning of the book. Sometimes there's quotes that resonate with me and I will write them in there as well so that I can go to these pages and the verses that I need to read are right in front of me. So I can meditate on these as often as I like and turn to these as often as I like. Something else that I started using in the journal are these really wonderful little magnetized bookmarks. They magnetize on the page, and this one is the one for my favorite Bible verses, and it says, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path," which is so true. So they just clip over the page and are magnetized on there. Makes it really nice to easily find the sections in the journal. The next section is your goals, plans, dreams, and desires. Why is that important? Because when we write these things down, we allow them to leave our minds and start to come to fruition once they hit the paper. It makes them more concrete. It makes them a reality. It makes it something that you can go back to and expand on and continue to live out. And I think that it's so important for us to have dreams because so often people live life with the intention to get to death. And in between, maybe it'll be fun. That's not how I live my life. I live my life enjoying my dreams, and at some point I will die. You know, I am focusing on the best parts of my life and living those out. And I want you guys to as well. So getting them out of your mind and onto paper is really important. And when you're doing it in that still quiet time with Jesus, he will implant such amazing things to go along with your dream, things that you didn't even consider. So it's very awesome. Then you get to your journaling pages, and the journaling pages are very unique. They are not dated. There's a section for you to write the date in and the day. I use the number of the day as far as like January 1st being the first day of the year. I like numbering my pages and my days. In addition to that, each page has a Bible verse or a quote. They rotate. Every other day is Bible verse, a quote, Bible verse, quote. So that I could be with you every day and give you encouragement as you do this. Because not everybody is good at journaling. I was not. When we moved to our new homestead here last year, I found, and I was packing, I found so many journals that I had started, probably close to 20 of them, that I had started. I maybe made it 3 months, and that was the end of that, and the rest of it was blank. And we all have this funny notion in our minds because I've gifted some of these and people have bought them. Some people have started right away because it's not dated. Others, they can't start till the first of the year. That used to always be me. But I've thrown that off. I got mine and I couldn't wait to start. And it was all timed out very well because I used up my last journal just as this one arrived. So use it how you will. But the thing is, when we take time and write down our day, and it's important to write our gratitude first and also end our day with our gratitude and write something that we are grateful for. You know, no matter what you're going through, no matter how rough it is, you cannot tell me there is not something to be grateful for. I've walked out a lot of different things. I've been down the rough roads. There is always something to be grateful for. So don't lose sight of that. And that's the importance of this. And as you write in here and as you spend time with Jesus, even if you start with 15 minutes a day, 5 minutes, whatever you start with, if that means you've got to get up 5, 10, 15 minutes earlier in a day to be able to do this, I want to encourage you to do it and join me on this journaling journey because you will be able to see how much it makes an impact in your life, and you will create a healthy habit that becomes an addiction. And your 15 minutes, if you're able, could run into an hour, even more. I spend endless amounts of time with God. I let him dictate how much time we need in a day. And I promise you guys, the things that I need to get done for that day still get done. A lot easier, a lot less thought needs to go into them because I started my day out right. So bookend your day, because the center of your day and the middle of your day will be amazing. I promise you, as a result of that. So here, I'll give you a little preview of the inside of the book. So you can see the Bible verses, you can see how the pages are laid out. And then, and keep in mind that there are 366 pages of journaling pages. I included one for the leap year, and there are 14 extra pages to follow that you, if you're really expanding in your journaling or you need extra pages, you have them. There are also 52 pages in the back of the book for your to-dos or your prayer lists for the week. I find those pages really helpful. For me, I don't use it for my to-dos, but when I'm in my time with God, things pop up, things spur, my thoughts are spurred all the time. I don't want to keep getting up, and I don't want to have my journal or my planner with me, because everything is a distraction and we so easily use those distractions. So I don't want those distractions. So I created the journal so that everything is in hand. So you are in your weekly to-do page, and suddenly, you've got a lot of prayers for that week, so you have those listed. But while you're sitting there, all of a sudden something pops in your mind. For me, I use a different book for my weekly planning. But while I'm doing my journaling, if something pops into my mind, I can write it in there and then transfer it later at the end of my devotions right away into my planner. So I'm not constantly being pulled away, because that's our greatest struggle. We constantly are distracted, and we need to learn to hit this mode and take this time and enjoy ourselves. I want to let you know also that there is some information in the front of the book. I took the time to write a little something to you, and there's resources in the back of the book. I have a bunch of playlists on Spotify that I enjoy listening to when I'm doing this, and it's just really a nice, calm time that I get to spend with Jesus versus the disheveled, quick, throw it in, get it done kind of time. I really love my time. And I hope that this is a blessing to you all, as it is to me. And I'm just so thankful for the divine implant. And although I had planned to release it in August, it got released on September 21st. And evidently that was a special day, because prior to getting sick, I'm like, it'd be nice to put it out there September 21st of 21. And I don't know why, that just popped in my mind. And I'm like, that's so far away. I'm going to get it out there sooner. And then sure enough, it ended up on 9/21/21. So excited about that, and excited to release this to you. If you are interested in getting a copy for yourself, you can go to TrayerWilderness.com/Relentlessly Faithful Journey, and that will take you to the sales page. Very pleased with this and very excited to see what God does with it. This makes a great gift this time of year, and it is a gift that keeps on giving. In addition to the journal, I am also really working hard to let people know that they can join me in my community. And you have a special invitation inside this book as well to join me in the community, so that when you get this journal, you're not on your own and you don't need to go through your future days on your own. You can join us in the community for encouragement and inspiration. Our community is amazing. And God has used that also. That was another divine intervention from God and inputted to me while I was doing my time with him, as well as our weekly Bible study and the kids' corner that I do. So if you are interested in joining our community, you can go to TrayerWilderness.com/community. You can join the Bible study by going to TrayerWilderness.com/Bible Study Book Club. And the Kids Corner is awesome. I've really enjoyed my year getting to know these kids and just spending time with them. They've really come out of their shell. We have great time together, great conversations, and do all kinds of neat things together. So you can get your kids incorporated in that by going to TrayerWilderness.com/Kids Corner. It's a really fun time. It's a half an hour every Friday at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time. The Bible study is every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The community is accessible 24/7. We have people from the UK, New Zealand, Germany, all over the world joining us in this community. And truly, you will not find a more amazing group of loving, sharing, inspiring, educating people. And you are able to go there and ask questions. You're able to go there and share your knowledge. It's just a wonderful environment. And not everybody has that opportunity for fellowship and community in their local communities. So I wanted to really be able to share that today and remind you to join us there because it's really an awesome time. Also, you can join our newsletter by going to TrayerWilderness.com/newsletter. Because I had such a hard time of things with COVID, we knew that if I got it, it would either do one of two things. It would take me down hard, or it would take me down 6 feet under. Thankfully, it was not the latter, but it was very grueling, very hard on my body. I've already put a blog post out on our on our website, and I want to encourage you to go check it out. It is called What I Learned, and I want to pass that on to you. You will also be able to find the link in the show notes. I encourage you to read that so that you are aware of the supplements and the things that I did that helped me to recover. And there will be a part 2 coming because of the heavy taxing that COVID put on my body. It created great stress, and I am losing hair by the handfuls. It has been quite something. It's being referred to as shedding, and it is a known side effect. And I think that I have figured out a way to combat that in multiple ways. And I'm still testing a couple things out, but I've had great results in some of them. So there is a part 2 coming, and I will talk about that next week in depth. But again, you can find the show notes for this show at TrayerWilderness.com/podcast-233. I've missed you guys greatly, and I'm so thankful to be back in the saddle and be able to share things with you. There's a lot of things going on in our world right now. It's very easy to really end up in a very low place when you follow what's going on. That's why I wanted to first talk about ways to keep yourself in a very good, positive headspace, and that is by doing and focusing on your gratitude and prayer journal and taking time every day to focus on that. But it is important also to know what's going on in your surroundings, to know what's going on in the world, and to know what you can do for yourself and your family to prepare yourself for what may be ahead. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know that we are not doom and gloomers, that we are very faith-led, that we are very positive-minded, and that not a whole lot really affects us. We just continue to plan ahead, prepare ahead, listen to the good Lord and how he guides us, and share what we know with others. And right now I'm feeling very led to share what I know, what I've experienced, and how to prepare forward. Many people don't really know what to do and what direction to turn in. And the other thing is, you may be in a place where you don't have funding to really do anymore. And again, that is where focusing on our gratitude and our prayers and staying in time with God and totally trusting what he's going to do in your life. If you've been following me for any length of time, you also know that we walked out some pretty hefty medical debt issues over the last 7 years. And we were without. We had no money left. But God provided for our every need. So don't ever lose sight of that. Elijah was starving and he sent ravens with food. God will take care of his own. But I always also share the important part of that is that we've got to add the natural so that God can add the supernatural. So if we are just sitting on the couch eating bonbons and stuck like deer in headlights and not doing our part, it's not a good place to be. That is a place of complacency and fear, and we don't want to live out of that space. So join me next week so that I can share with you how to proceed, the things you can do, the things you should be stocking up on, places you can get good information versus the media that is currently sharing nonsense and lies. Yes, I said it, and I'm going to be very blunt in my teaching. I'm feeling very led to share, and that is what I'm going to do. So join me next week. I look very forward to sharing time with you. I'm so glad to be back in the saddle and spending time with you, and I love you all. I look forward to seeing you next week. God bless.